I didn't mind this movie.
No?
No.
All right, okay.
No, I think that's about as positive of a spin as I can actually put on it. I came out of it and I was like, that is a perfectly acceptable 2 hours and 20 minutes of entertainment, and I had a good time. Yeah, it was good. Harrison Ford is a very good actor because he can hold a movie together even in his 80s, which is super, super impressive. The CGI stuff that Dave mentioned last week, I didn't think it looked that bad. There's a little bit of the uncanny valley in certain moments, but, you know, when it's the more action-heavy stuff, you kind of don't really notice all that much, probably because most of the action stuff you see now has quite heavy CGI in it anyway. And yeah, just, I thought Phoebe Waller-Bridge was an absolute delight, and a real, like, 180-degree turn from what the previous sort of leading woman in some of the Indiana Jones movies was, which is just, let's face it, like, sort of, you know, olive oil from Popeye level screeching, and just about as anti-feminist as you can possibly get. Whereas I thought, you know, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is not only a great choice because, like, she is an attractive lady, but she's also very funny, very quick, very witty, and sort of kept up with Harrison Ford's barbs, and it was fun. It was fun. It didn't, like, settle for too long on anything. None of it felt kind of torturous and in length. And yeah, I just, you know, it's like a 6-7 out of 10 movie, which I was thinking it could be like a 3 or 4 out of 10 movie. So I was quite happily impressed with it. But hey, you know, I think if you've got a low bar when you go into it, you'll enjoy it. If you're expecting to see Last Crusade or Raiders or something, you're not going to enjoy it. But it was shitloads better than Crystal Skull, let's face it, which as much as I like to pretend that movie doesn't exist, it still exists. So it's very much above that. If it's quite hitting Temple of Doom, but still, it was a good time.
Garrett, are you any interest in seeing this?
I'll see it. I have no opinions about Indiana Jones. I've seen all of them, but I'm not like, wow, I love Indiana Jones, or the fourth one is terrible. They're all just like, all right. And I'll see this one and I'll probably be like, oh, that's all right.
I imagine that's going to be the way, yeah.
I feel like response to this has really run like the gamut. Like, people are all over the place on this movie.
I think when you have a film that is tied to the legacy of something like an Indiana Jones, you're probably going to run that risk, because you're obviously going to have a whole range of people, from the people that were there, you know, seeing the first indie in the cinema, that have like such a reverence for that first one, and then that's going to be split across a different range of people that think that obviously, like, you know, the original is the best and nothing has touched ever since, to people who think the trilogy is overall is so solid, and then it's been kind of diminishing returns since. And then you're going to have like newer people, and obviously I imagine from the way that I've seen the trailer, this film obviously looks like a modern film in the way that the you know, that it's shot and the VFX and whatnot. So for a younger audience, then that's going to be split. And I just think that across the board, it's that sort of film that I don't think you could get a very kind of consistent like review score because of something like that. Very similar in a way to something like a Final Fantasy 16 that we'll talk to in a bit as well. I think it's a kind of thing like that when you have these sort of kind of legacy IPs.
Yeah, it seems to be like the kind of thing that's averaging like 6 out of 10s, and not because it's a 6 out of 10 thing, but like a bunch of people hate it, a bunch of people are indifferent on it, and a bunch of people like it. It's like one of those where it's like, oh, people are really spread across like the review spectrum of this, as opposed to people just deciding on it being not very good. It's weird.
I find it hard to hate. I guess the only thing that might kind of lower people's opinion of it is that the third act is bonkers. Like, completely.
Good bonkers or bad bonkers?
Oh, good. I found it good bonkers, but that's what I mean. Some people might just think, that's stupid, it's ridiculous. As if, like, the Ark of the Covenant melting Nazis in the first movie was
realistic.
Completely realistic, or them finding, like, the fucking Holy Grail of Christ, you know? And that also melting Nazis.
You got to be honest, when it comes to indie films, we don't really talk about this enough. Like, usually with the final third act, they do swing for the fences,
and they do melt a lot of Nazis. And this one is no exception. There are some absolutely fantastic Nazi deaths in this as well. Mads Mikkelsen, absolutely just, you know, one of those sort of like coat whippy, evil sort of German scientist type characters. He was, very, very good. And did he melt? He went down in a ball of flames, so I assume he melted.
I mean, crucially, did he whip anyone's testicles?
What, Mads Mikkelsen or Indiana Jones?
That is my favourite Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh, what, whipping people in the testicles? There were whips in the movie, but they were Harrison Ford's whips.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.